Hi, it's Renee from the Empurrium. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to cut out the Gabriella handbag. This is my first official bag pattern. So we're going to cut that. I just want to share, here is a finished bag. So we are going to be doing it with the cat features. I think you can see the tail. It's a little subtle if you do it matching, but I'm going to be using sienna clay from Empurrium. It's a soft, like faux leather look. And then I'm gonna do my donut cat print waterproof cotton, and then interfacing some exterior pieces with Decaville light. So the pattern pieces I have printed out, but I got a set of acrylic templates from that template shop. As of this video going up, they're not available yet, but they will be very soon. So I will announce when they go up. In addition to these materials, here's my deck of light. I have some accent vinyl for my nose and ears, inner ear pieces. And then for hardware, you're going to need, it's stuck in here. Okay, you're going to need one magnetic snap. I have the thin 18mm from Empurrium, two 3/4 inch D-rings, and then I'm making a 3/4 inch wide crossbody strap. So I have two 3/4 inch snap hooks and a 3/4 inch wide mouth slide adjuster, because I'm going to be making mine with vinyl. So I'm going to put those in my box and we will get started. So if you don't want to make this as a cat bag, you absolutely can make it as a regular bag. You would just omit any of the cat features. So the ears, the nose, the tail, the whiskers. You just wouldn't do those. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my accent pieces first. There's also a cut chart in the pattern pieces. The template doesn't have the accents, just so you, or the cut chart, just so you know. And when you're cutting the ears, my suggestion is to cut them mirrored. Oh, I gotta slide that over. Okay, so for the inner ear, you're going to mirror those. And then for the main earpiece, you are going to cut two mirrored, and then you're going to tape those to a larger piece of vinyl. And I'll show you what I mean when we get there. Sorry, a little ahead of myself. Okay, so I like tracing these pieces and then cutting them. I just find for myself, it turns out better if I do it that way than trying to cut these tiny pieces with a rotary cutter. All right. So again, with this pink accent, I'm doing the nose and the inner ears. Put that away. My favorite accent for cat purses is the Empurrium pink glitter that Empurrium had. It's been a couple years. Unfortunately, it's sold out and it's not coming back, but I have a stash saved for these situations. All right, so there are my inner ear pieces. I should probably round this corner a little. All right, inner ears. Then my nose. So cute. All right, I'm gonna set those there. Okay. So you want to start with like a fresh roll of vinyl, because if you are doing a crossbody strap, you're going to want to cut that first. Oh, I guess I also forgot about my zipper tape. All right. So for a 3/4 inch crossbody strap, you're going to cut 3 inches wide, and you're just going to go the whole width of your fabric. All right. And then to get that prepped a little bit more, you can make a line. I already had a pen out. You can make a line 1.5 inches in to the center. And this is gonna help prep for where we will be folding. You could also run a piece of double-sided tape down this right now if you want. I'm gonna do that at my machine because my tape is over there. All right, so we got that done. Now I'm going to cut my main panel pieces. So there's 2 from exterior. You just want to be mindful if you have a directional print. I do not. It is possible to use woven fabric instead of vinyl. If you do that, my recommendation is to interface those full pieces with woven interfacing, and then also use the Decavo Light in addition. If you rotate, it gets you in a little bit further to save vinyl. Not by much, but a tiny bit. So there are my 2 exterior pieces. These are going to get interfacing, so I'm going to set them to the side. And then we'll need lining from that piece. I like to work on some of the bigger pieces before I start cutting into others. But we'll go ahead and do our gusset pieces up here. So there is your gusset side, and then you have measurements for the base of the gusset. So I'm gonna start by cutting the gusset side. And there is a marking for your hidden strap connector on this piece. You're going to wait until you fuse your stabilizer. All right, so we have 2 of those. So again, those get interfacing. Set that to the side because you're gonna, oh, sorry. You need lining. I like to make a lining pile. Okay, so interfacing piece is the gusset side interfacing and the main panel interfacing. So we still need our base zipper flap bottom, our zipper overlay. We need the tail and the zipper flap top. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my zipper flap bottom, and I'm gonna start the square here. All right, this does not get interfacing, so that is good to be put aside. And then I want to do my base. So there's a measurement for that. And then that gets interfacing as well. Okay, now we have the tail, the zipper flap top, and a couple of small pieces to cut. Okay, so there is the zipper flap top. We will do a little bit of prep work to that, but we can decide you're gonna need a lining piece. All right, now we need, out of the vinyl, the zipper overlay, the connectors, the zipper tabs, still need the tail. All right, we'll do the tail in a second. I like to take this piece, so I had the main panels and then the gusset, but we have this in here that we can cut the connectors, the zipper overlay, and the zipper tabs. So I'm gonna do the connectors first. And then this piece, go ahead and draw a line down the center. You could put tape there if you have it available. And then let's go ahead and do our zipper tabs. And 2 of those. All right. And then we need to do the zipper overlay. So it is a little bit wider, so you need to find a space in here, which looks like I found one already. Okay. So for the zipper overlay, you're going to cut the initial measurement, which is 8.5 by 2. And cut that first. And then you're gonna go on each side and draw a line 3/4 of an inch in. And I take and just in the center start the long sides with my rotary cutter. Just make sure you don't go too far. And then I will take my scissors, and you're cutting just inside that line if you use the rotary cutter, because the rotary cutter gets closer to the edge of the ruler than your pen does. So if you want to make it consistent, that is my tip. Okay, and then you just really don't want to go past the corners, but it'll look like that. So that is good to set aside. All right, I'm gonna go through my list. I got the base, the zipper flap bottom, the zipper overlay, connectors, strap, zipper tabs, zippers. I need the tail and the ears, and we've got this left to work with, so good job. All right, so the ears, like I said, you're gonna trace and cut two mirrored. They are just a little different, so that is going to help give you the perfect ears. All right, so we cut those out. Donut, what are you doing? Donut is exploring in the closet. All right, so you have your two mirrored ears, and then you're going to lay them on the vinyl, and you're gonna cut pieces bigger than them. Don't tape them yet if you're doing the inner ears, because you have to put those on first. But what this is gonna do is when you sew these together, you can then trim so that they're perfectly the same instead of trying to line up two pieces. It's a lot easier. So there are your 4 pieces of ears. Okay, my tail. So the tail can go whichever direction you want. It's up to you. If you want it to go the same as in the pattern, you're going to want to make sure it is wrong side up if you're cutting from the back of the vinyl. So this is another piece that I trace and then cut with scissors instead of using the rotary cutter. All right, so then done with the tail. Oh, I cut into my tail a tiny bit on accident. think I can fix it. Just definitely take your time. All right, let's see. It's fine. By the time I stitch, it'll be good. All right, so there's my tail. And then you have about this much vinyl left if you started with a fresh roll. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my interfacing now. So you have one measurement you need to cut interfacing from, and that is for the base interfacing. Let's see here. My roll of Decaville Light is getting low and I am a little stressed about it. It's so expensive. All right. There is my base interfacing, and then you have 2 main panel interfacings to cut and 2 gusset side interfacings to cut. And I always try to lay things out to see the best way to use my material, but it would appear I just gotta go with it. All right. Align straight edge up as much as I can also. All right, there's one. This bag really is pretty easy to cut. I mean, there are some curves, but especially if you're not doing the cat features, it comes together really quick. All right, so we are done with that piece. I am personally looking forward to sewing a batch of plain Gabriellas. I'm just gonna call it plain if it doesn't have cat features. But I think it'll be really fun to use like solid vinyls and then feature a print for the flap and maybe even the gusset, or like plain with a pretty lining, like a printed lining. Okay, so we are done with the interfacing now. I'm gonna go ahead and press these just because I want to turn the heat press off. All right, so we have our 2 gusset side exteriors and then that gusset side interfacing. You're going to center those. If you want, you can measure and everything. I just tend to eyeball it. But if that is not your personality, by all means, do what makes you comfortable. I just press my Decaville Light for like maybe 7 seconds. Just long enough to get that adhered. If it seems like it needs longer, I will press again. But I have found that a lot of vinyls will shrink a little when you press it, so I try really hard not to overpress. All right. there is the base. The base is ready to go in the bin now. And then for the main panels, on all of these pieces, you are just centering them. And I hold the Decaville light up to the heat plate real quick to warm it up, and that gets the glue starting to melt, and it helps it stick in place when you press down so it doesn't shift. Something I probably learned from my friend Lauren. It's been a while. All right, last one. And then we have the lining. All right, so we're done with this inner facing piece. So there it is, centered, nice and pretty. All right, so we have those gusset sides. You're gonna take your pattern piece and line it up, and then the paper pattern piece, what I did with mine is I cut on that notch and then I just fold it down, and from there I just trace up against that little notch, so it looks like that. But the template pieces, I had requested that we get a cutout to do those. So they are the same. Yes, they are good. All right, so those pieces are ready. You could go ahead and cut that out now, but my X-Acto seam ripper, whatever you want to call it, is over at my machine. So I'm just gonna make sure all these other pieces that I already used are set aside. For the lining, we're going to do all the gusset pieces, the exterior pieces, everything we cut that wasn't a cat feature is getting cut with the lining, plus a little extra for pockets. Okay, so I have this waterproof cotton that I love. And what I'm gonna do for this first piece, which is the zipper flap lining, so this is a piece we did not cut out of the exterior. I like to just have 2 layers together and cut them at the same time. So there are our 2 zipper flap lining pieces. Set that piece to the side. You are done with it. And now everything else we're going to cut, we are only cutting 1 of. So unfold your material. Okay. Oh, I lied. We are cutting 2 of some things. I could have left it folded. Maybe we could do that. All right, let's see. I'm just kind of all over the place cutting this. All right, we have 2 main panels and 2 gusset sides. So if you want, cut them at the same time. All right, and then you are done with the main panel after you cut those. And then if you're using a directional lining, which this print is not directional, keep that in mind. But also for your gusset side panels, I would do them both face up, and then the base of the gusset is kind of up to you which way you would want that to face. Alright. You are not marking or cutting the hidden strap connector for the lining. Okay. One more template pattern piece, and then we will move to measurements. And then on your flap, your exterior is down, your lining is up. So keep that in mind. And if you have a certain spot you might want showing on your flap, keep that in mind. The spot where the nose is on the template is very close to where your magnet is going to be. All right. So now we can go ahead and refer to the cut chart for the rest. We need the base. We need the zipper flap bottom. Interior pocket lining, there are 2 different pieces. And then I think we're good. All right. What are we measuring here? Oh, we can get our zipper flap bottom lining piece here. Okay. I'm like, where is the best spot? All right, right here for our base. Try to line up some donut cats. It's much easier to fussy cut when it's your own like print and you know you can keep getting it, I will say. So if you're like, oh, you're fussy cutting so much, there is a sense of relief for me when I do it. All right, there is the base. And now we just need zipper pocket lining. And I do them as 2 separate pieces with different sizes. They're just slightly different. There's one. Okay, so the only thing I didn't cut is the zippers. And I have to pick mine out still. Probably use light pink. I think I have light pink with antique gold. Okay. let's go over all of our pieces. Okay, so we have our interior zipper lining. We have the zipper flap bottom and top. We have our main panels. Our gusset pieces, 2 gusset sides and a base. And then our 2 zipper pocket lining pieces. And then for exterior, we have the 2 gusset side, the gusset base, 2 exterior panels, and all of those have interfacing. And then there is the zipper flap bottom and top. We have a tail. Something to note, the tail goes on the zipper flap exterior bottom. All right, we have those ear pieces. We have our zipper overlay. We have our connector piece. We have our zipper tabs, nose and inner ear pieces, our strap, and our hardware. Yes, all set. So there is some more things to prep, but I'm going to do them at the machine so I can show those details better. So they'll be in the sewing video. But this wraps up the cutting. I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you did, and I'll see you in the sewing video.